Welcome back to the Autotrader.com pregame show as we look at the starting lineups first for the visiting New Orleans Hornets. Chris Paul, Mo Pete in the backcourt. Tyson Chandler, the man in the middle. Peja Stojakovic, Ryan Bowen accompanying Tyson Chandler in the front court, coached by Byron Scott. Those are your New Orleans Hornets. On the other side, the Houston Rockets, Rafer Alston. Fred was talking earlier about what contributions he's made of late as a point man, really filling that role nicely alongside Tracy McGrady.
And both teams have injuries. You got Yao Ming out, and there's no David West, the all-star, in the lineup for New Orleans. It's still going to be a heck of a basketball game.
Talked about Dikembe a little earlier, Shane Battier and Louis Scola, whom we also spoke of. Should be a great game. Two teams that love offense, love to run, and with a lot at stake here as they jockey for position there in the Western Conference. All right, the Rockets' pursuit of 18. How do you feel about it right now?
Well, right now, they're coming out with a lot of energy. They're at home, and that's where the fans are really going to boost them, give them rocket power, look for the Rockets to win.
All right, so the Houston Rockets getting set to take on the New Orleans Hornets here on NBA TV. Enjoy the game. Fred and I will be back at the half. This has been the Autotrader.com pregame show.
But the Rockets are still going to have that type of movement from the guys without the ball to make their offense work. Bill?
Well, the man, of course, Tracy McGrady, has been making it go, average almost 26 points and 7 assists during the streak for the Houston Rockets. Rockets, of course, will be without Carl Landry. They'll be without Yao Ming, and they'll be, of course, without Steve Francis. Replacing Landry, Mike Harris was signed by the Houston Rockets today. He has been playing over in the CBA in China. And Justin Williams, a young free agent, 6'10 player, good rebounder. There's Mike Harris on the far left and Justin Williams on the right. So the two newest Rockets. Harris played with the Rockets in the preseason and had a great season in China. Rick Adelman, this is his second time to win 16-plus games. He won 16 in a row with Portland in the 90-91 season, and now currently with a 17-game winning streak with the Houston Rockets. Clyde, you were on that team in Portland. You know what a great job Rick has done with his team this season.
He's done a great job, and as we said earlier this year, this team has the capacity to get better throughout the season. Unlike the Spurs, the Suns, or Dallas, even though they've made major trades now, but the Rockets have done exactly that under Rick Adelman.
Byron Scott got his team to the NBA Finals when he was the head coach at New Jersey. He's done a great job in New Orleans. He was the NBA Coach of the Month in January, and Rick Adelman was the Coach of the Month in February. So we've got the two hottest coaches as well as two of the hottest teams in the NBA. What a game we've got for you here tonight. Rockets win the tip. They go to McGrady coming off a pick. A little long on the shot. Stojakovic will give it up to Chris Paul. Chris Paul has been hot lately.
He's always hot. Are you kidding?
David West is out for New Orleans, and Paul hits the jumper to start with. He's averaging 21 points a game and 11 assists. He leads the NBA in steals. He's second in assists. He's even 10th in free throw percentage. Rafer Alston, however, long, coming off of a season high 24 points a couple of nights ago in Dallas.
That was a big game, big effort by Skip Malou on the road at a time when the Rockets needed it most.
Morris Peterson hits. The Rockets' defense has really been good during this streak, and they'll need to help hold down New Orleans now. They're such a good offensive team. There's Rafer going to the basket, draws the foul. The whistle blown by Gary Zielinski. We've got a veteran crew tonight. Mark Wunderlich, James Capers, and Gary Zielinski. Zielinski, Capers, and Wunderlich, the officials for tonight's game.
Those are the kind of calls you get when you drive to the basket, when things are really going good. When you're winning, you get those calls.
Rafer Alston averaging 15 points and 7 assists over the 17-game winning streak. And I think the up-motion offense, you know, Rick, with Yao Ming going out, has picked up the offensive tempo, and it's really suited Rafer Alston.
Up-tempo with all of these athletes and the depth that the Rockets have. Rick Adelman has implemented all of that into his strategy and has taken full advantage of it, and they're clicking on all cylinders.
We'll have to wait, of course, and see the Rockets, one of the victims during the 17-game win streak. The Rockets defeated the Hornets in New Orleans several weeks ago by 20 points. And Yao Ming really took advantage of Tyson Chandler. He had 30 points in that game, Yao Ming did, and 14 rebounds. There's a steal by Ryan Bowen and a foul by Rafer. Probably a good foul.
Flying Ryan. You know, they thought he was out of position, but he can make up ground in a hurry because he never stops moving.
Playing in place of David West. Of course, you're not going to get David's offense. West almost a 20-point-a-game scorer, out with an injured ankle, and Bowen's there for his defense.
Of course, Bowen played a couple of years for the Rockets as well.
Tyson Chandler taking it in, and Mutombo forced him to miss the shot. Deke has been hot in defensive blocking shots in Yao's absence.
He's always going to be hot doing that.
James Battier, short. Tyson Chandler has had some big rebound nights this season. One of the leading rebounders and shot blockers in the NBA. Chris Paul with the miss. And the rebound away for Alston.
Both of these teams will get after you defensively, and they both can score lots of points.
Inside to Scola. Scola working inside over Chandler. Missed the hook shot. Back outside to Battier. He doesn't waste any time at all, but he misses the shot. Morris Peterson signed in the offseason before the season started. Free agent.
Good acquisition.
Tried that backdoor play to Tyson Chandler. This time the Rockets were laying and waiting.
Rafer got a hand on it. That stopped it.
Whistle, and a foul is called. Chris Paul is called for the foul.
Brady on the low post, the Rockets are.
Brady from the outside. Well, so many people have said over this winning streak that Brady has trouble making his team better, and there's a foul by Mutombo. But I think in this winning streak, he's made everybody better on this Houston team.
Yeah, I mean, you take a Chris Paul and Tyson Chandler, great chemistry. Mutombo had to foul him. He had a surefire dunk, so make him earn it from the free throw line. But when you look at what these guys are doing, it's been incredible.
Tyson Chandler and Chris Paul, they get together about 4 or 5 times a game with that backdoor alley-oop. They're very proficient at it.
Tyson Chandler's a legitimate 7-footer with incredible leaping ability, and he's very long. All you got to do is throw it up, and he will go get it.
Hornets also, when they get to the line, they know what to do with it. Number 7 in the league in free throw shooting.
Hornets head coach Byron Scott, coach of the All-Star team this year, is doing a phenomenal job with this team.
Yes, he is. Rafer Alston from way downtown.
So that's the shot Skip could be a little bit more patient on.
He can get that anytime he wants it. Chris Paul with the basket. So he's off to a good start.
Chris Paul, kind of Sam Cassell-ish, gets into the lane and makes those little shots look very easy. He's good at getting to his spot.
Scola, great move. Mutombo gets the offensive rebound. Rockets get a fresh 24.
Mutombo wisely threw that ball out after the offensive rebound.
Mutombo with a short jumper, in and out, won't go. He was shocked when he got the ball.
You know, all big guys think they can score.
Tyson Chandler with another miss. Mutombo has bothered him on 3 of his 4 shots. And a steal. He gets 1 a game at least. Every game this season. Chris Paul. Morris Peterson knocked out of bounds by Rafer Alston.
Chris Paul leads the NBA in steals, and right there you saw why. He picked Tracy McGrady's pocket clean.
Chris Paul has a season record for most assists and steals in a game. 21 assists against the Lakers and 9 steals against Dallas back on February the 20th. 9 steals. Chandler inside. He misses again. He loses the ball, and the foul is called on Mutombo, his second.
Mutombo's still battling these young guys.
No, it's on Rafer Alston. I'm sorry. That's his second foul.
Mutombo changes everything. Tyson Chandler is finding it very difficult to score on Mutombo. Gets the offensive rebound, but Rafer fouls him. You see the foul.
So Rafer with 2 fouls has to come out of the game, and Bobby Jackson will come in, who just several weeks ago was playing in New Orleans with the Hornets. That was a deal the Rockets made. Bonzi Wells and Mike James went to New Orleans, and Bobby Jackson came over to Houston. James is playing tonight, but Bonzi's out with an injury.
It's got to be funny for Bobby Jackson. When he left the Hornets, they were a first-place team in the Western Conference. Now the Rockets have a chance to unseat them in the 3rd position.
Chris Paul over Bobby Jackson, shot it too hard, and Scola with the rebound. Hornets up by a point. McGrady. Jumper, got it. Tracy McGrady, 4 points. And the Rockets take the lead. Chris Paul right back the other way. Look at Jackson hustle and knock it away, and then come up with a loose ball. And Paul with a foul, and that will be his second foul of the game. Chris Paul. And he goes straight to the bench. So both point guards are sitting here midway through the first quarter as Gennaro Pargo will check in for the Hornets. In fact, Pargo was playing so well that they thought Jackson was expendable to pick up Bonzi Wells and Mike James.
Yeah, Pargo's got an incredible range from the outside. And he's been a journeyman, but he's fit well with this team. I think head coach Byron Scott really likes his play.
Stojakovic came over and played the passing lane, knocked the ball out of bounds. Rockets have 5 seconds on the shot clock. Bobby Jackson coming off a pick, and he hits. Jackson had a red-hot game against Dallas a couple of nights ago, coming off that bench. He had been in a shooting slump.
They didn't need him, so he just kind of took it easy. He knows now against Dallas and New Orleans, they need his production. He's stepping up.
Stojakovic hits over Shane Battier. Shane did a great job on Stojakovic when they played a couple of weeks ago. He held Stojakovic to only 3 of 10 from the field and no three-pointers. Stojakovic is number 3 in the NBA in threes. And Jackson knocked to the court, but they're going to say he went out of bounds, and they'll give the ball to the Hornets. 5:38 left to play in the first quarter. Rockets 10, Hornets 9.
The Rockets lead the Hornets by a point here in the first. You want to be at Toyota Center on Monday, March 10th as the Rockets go head-to-head with the New Jersey Nets at 7:30. And you know what? It's also Rockets cap night. The first 5,000 fans through the door will receive a free Rockets cap presented by Comcast. There it is right there. It is a beauty. Call 713-627-DUNK or log on to Rockets.com for your tickets today and make sure you're here for cap night. Right, Clyde?
Come check it out. I like mine, guys.
Hey, you look pretty sporty in that Rockets cap.
It's Cougar Red.
I think I've worn it before, guys. Besides, I'm a diehard Rocket fan, so I sport mine proudly.
We talked about the defense for the Houston Rockets since February the 2nd. And look at that, number 1 in opponent's point per game. Also the opponent's shooting. The Rockets getting it done. Wasn't up there long enough, but you get the idea.
It's amazing how when you win, the stats indicate why you're winning. When you're losing, they don't really give you a full score.
Bobby Jackson almost banked it in. Pargo down to Chandler, and he missed the shot. Wow! Pargo back the other way. He loses the ball out of bounds. And it's knocked out of bounds by the Rockets. There it is again. Now you have a little better time to digest it. Look at the opponent's field goal percentage.
Yeah, you know, and Bill, the opponent free throw percentage, the Rockets are number 1 in free throw defense.
How about that? That's sensational, isn't it, Matt?
Clyde, you know, like when you're playing defense on the free throw line, you got to put your hands up at the right time. You got to yell. You got to scream.
I used to step into the lane on him.
Somebody find him something to do. Hey, Matt, New Orleans is number 30 in the league.
Oh, Well, see, there you go. The Rockets have got to get to the line then tonight.
That's right.
Hornets are way too kind.
3 seconds called on Dikembe Mutombo. That's 3 turnovers by the Rockets. Number 4 on the Rockets, I'm sorry. And against Dallas, the Rockets had only 6 turnovers the entire game.
That's how you win on the road. You got to limit your turnovers.
Stojakovic trying to be more active tonight against Shane Battier. He was not. Battier's covering him up. Night in and night out, Battier takes the other team's best player. Or at least best scorer.
This night, Stojakovic is averaging 16 a game, so he's no slouch. But Chris Paul, by far, the leading scorer of this team at 21 points a game.
Peja, since he's been in the league, has been one of the best 3 or 4 3-point shooters in the NBA. T-Mac from outside with a miss.
I'm just thinking, Bill, it's early in the game, but you may see Battier guarding Chris Paul later on in the game.
Margot misses Jackson right there with him, and it's tipped up and in. I think Mutombo got that tip. They're going to give it to Wright, but Mutombo looked like he was right there. Julian Wright, what a job he has done coming in for David West. This is a youngster out of Kansas, taken in the first round by New Orleans this year. And this is his rookie campaign, but he's played very well the last 2 games.
He's got a lot of talent.
T-Mac, now that's what he's got to do. He's not shooting from the outside. Take it to the rack. Mac.
When he does that, it's impossible to guard him because he passes so well and he can shoot the ball, and that sets it up.
Margot with a miss. The rebound by Tracy McGrady. Both teams shooting poorly. Jackson. Shane Battier. This is what the Rockets have been able to do since Yao Ming has gone out. They picked up the tempo, Clyde.
The more transition basket is more fun for the fans. And let me tell you something, it debilitates the defense.
Right, cut off by Scola. Back out to Pargo. Will shoot a 3 and hit it. Gennaro Pargo out of the University of Arkansas, and he has really come on as a player in his 6th NBA campaign.
Shooting 34% from three-point land, so you got to guard him.
T-Mac down the middle, puts it up and in. Tracy McGrady continues his sparkling play. 8 points for T-Mac.
I like what Rick Adelman is doing with Tracy McGrady. He's getting him closer to the basket, running him off picks, curls.
Pargo with the basket. That little 2-man game's working well for him.
Pargo can score.
So can T-Mac. 3 baskets in a row for Tracy McGrady, and he's getting it up the court before they can set their defense.
And that's what a transition game is. We called it early offense.
1:56 left to play in the first quarter, and both of these teams playing sterling defense. But the Rockets getting it up the court in a hurry. And the game is tied at 18.
We are tied at 18 with just under 2 minutes to play here at Toyota Center late in the first. Today's Southwest Airlines destination of the game is San Diego, California. Note today's destination and date. Then log on to southwest.com/FSN to enter to win 2 round-trip tickets to any of Southwest Airlines' 64 destinations. And guys, I don't know about you, but San Diego sounds pretty good right about now.
Well, they wish they still had a franchise, Bart, but it went to L.A. to become the Clippers. Here you see 2 of the best teams in the NBA since January the 1st. 08 has been great for Houston, 26-4, right ahead of Utah. New Orleans has been 22-8. These 2 clubs have split the first 2 games this season. The Hornets won here in Houston back on January the 13th, 87-82. And then on February the 22nd, Houston won it 100-80 in New Orleans.
These 2 teams go at it.
They will play their 4th game against each other in 11 days in New Orleans.
Stojakovic is off right now. He's got to take the ball to the basket. You can't continue to hoist up outside jumpers if they're not going.
Bobby Jackson short. The defenses have been pretty stingy in the first quarter.
I I agree, Bill. And traditionally they are. Both of these teams play great defense.
Morris Peterson with a miss, Battier. Peterson filling in. Desmond Mason was on this team, and he signed a big free agent contract to go back to Milwaukee, and that's why they signed Peterson to take his place. Bobby Jackson, great move, and he blew the layup. Scola gets it back. Rockets get a fresh 24. Under a minute, Jackson says, let me try it again, and he missed it again. And a loose ball foul is called on Houston. Bobby Jackson. Bobby's looking at his hands like, what happened?
That's un-Bobby Jackson-like production there. 2 layups in a row. Look at that, wide open. I think that one slipped out of his hand, but the first one, I think he rushed it. In the NBA, you cannot miss layups and continue to play in this league.
Right from the outside hits. Boy, this young rookie has really done a job. Julian Wright. 2 straight games with career-high numbers in points and rebounds, averaging 16 points on 70% shooting and 7 rebounds a game over the last 2, filling in for David West. Scola's got Pargo on him, gets the ball back, takes it in for the layup. Scola will stay after it. Folks watching on NBA TV, if you're not familiar with Luis Scola, he's a rookie this year, played over in Europe for 7 seasons, but he is in the running for Rookie of the Year. He has really ignited this Houston team. In fact, they're 17-1 since he went into the starting lineup. Pargo's just eating Bobby Jackson's lunch.
He's a step quicker, and if the Rockets don't help him on the interior.
Pargo gets the steal and just misses the 3. So New Orleans ended the quarter on a 5-2 run, and after we've played the first 12 minutes, the Hornets are up 23-20.
Hornets lead the Rockets by 3 as we start the second period. Hey fans, don't forget to purchase your Lotto Texas ticket. Just pick 6 numbers from 54 and you can win some big money. Drawings are Wednesdays and Saturdays. The current estimated annuitized jackpot is $7 million. So make sure you play today. Literally play today. They got a drawing in a couple hours. Make sure you get that Lotto Texas ticket. But don't stop watching the game. Send somebody else out to get you a ticket, and then of course you have to split the jackpot with them. You know what I mean. Bill, back to you.
There you see Steve Francis, who awarded 5 $10,000 college scholarships to some very fortunate young kids with the Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater Houston. Steve's foundation has been doing that now for the last 5 years.
He's a heck of a guy.
There's a steal, and Pargo picks Jackson's pocket again.
That's why they kept him. I'll tell you what, Bobby Jackson, I don't know what he's been doing. He's got to wake up. So far, he's been lackluster in this game tonight. The Rockets are going to need his production, especially with Rafer Alston on the bench with 2 fouls.
Mike James comes in and hits his first shot of the game. He was a Rocket most of the season until that trade. From the wing, yes, a 3-pointer. Steve Novak continues to do it, the sharpshooter from Marquette in his 2nd season. He'll get more playing time tonight with Carl Landry out of tonight's game.
Novak can shoot the lights out of the ball. One of the best pure shooters in the entire league.
Pargo misses the shot. Luther Head with a rebound. Head is in the game along with Tracy McGrady. Novak, Chuck Hayes, and Bobby Jackson. Ryan Bowen on McGrady. McGrady tried to pass it to Hayes a little too briskly, and Hayes lost the ball. Austin will come in.
Yeah, you got to know your personnel when you're making interior passes. Chuck Hayes, I don't know if he was going to the boards or was he ready to receive that pass. I always say it's the fault of the passer to know your personnel.
Take it down low again. Eli has it knocked away. Rafer had it. Mike James gets it back. Shot clock is at 7 seconds. James taking it inside. Missed the layup. McGrady almost got the block. T-Mac Sets up Luther Head from the corner with a three. Back-to-back threes. Novak and Head.
The Rockets showing a full complement of players, a lot of depth. Guys coming in off the bench, showing some production. That's exactly what you need.
White gets covered up. Fargo will get it back. Novak shows outside. Fargo from the parking lot. And Hayes with the rebound. He was 3 steps behind the three-point line. Brady bouncing, bobbing, and weaving.
NBA players are so strong, they can shoot that with effortless.
Rockets shoot better when they move the ball.
Oh, much better. They were so stagnant there. They never looked like they were in sync. The shot resembled their formation.
Will not look for his shot, but Wright will. And he hits again. Boy, this young rookie is so impressive. Julian Wright out of Kansas. He was the 13th player taken in the first round, had a great career with the Jayhawks. And Rick Adelman will call a timeout. So the bench for New Orleans, 17, has outscored the Rockets bench 17-5.
We got a 2-point game with 8:50 to go in the second here at Toyota Center. Academy Sports and Outdoors is the proud sponsor of this year's Rockets Road Jams. The next Road Jam is this Sunday from 1 to 3 p.m. at the Academy on I-10 at Grand Parkway out in Katy. Come join us for interactive games, meet and greets with the Rockets Power Dancers, and Rockets Entertainment. Plus, while you're there, don't miss your chance to register for the 2008 Blacktop Battle. That's this Sunday from 1 to 3 at the Academy out on I-10 and Grand Parkway. Well, the Rockets found a few three-point shots in their arsenal there, Bill. They had missed that in the first quarter.
Yeah, they did. They went 0 for 5 in the first quarter, Bart, but the Rockets have hit their last 2. And McGrady leads the way with 10 points for Houston. The Rockets shooting 44%. The Hornets shooting only 36%. With Fargo and Wright 7 apiece off the bench. They're the leading scorers for New Orleans.
I see both teams kind of filling each other out. Chris Paul, Ray Austin on the bench for the majority of the first period. So I expect the action to become fast and furious.
Hayes cuts to the basket for 2. He does it so well. Melvin Eli went out to try to help double team McGrady, and McGrady is so good at finding the guy cutting to the basket.
Incredible vision. Playing with the superstar, you have benefits, and that's one of them.
There's Hayes with a steal. Gets it up ahead to Rafer. He's got to beat Chris Paul, and he does. And the Rockets have taken the lead by 2. Chuck Hayes was a starter at the beginning of the season. Scola was moved into the starting lineup, but Hayes shows you his defense. Luther Head, and he left it behind. And Hayes will now give it to Luther, and he misses. And the rebound to Ryan Bowen. That was crazy.
Too much mustard on the hot dog. Just run a fundamentally sound transition. That's all you need.
Mike James from the outside with a miss. Ironically, the Rockets brought Mike James in and Steve Francis in the offseason to try to take Rafer Alston's job. But it didn't happen.
No, Skip has played really well this season for the Rockets.
McGrady with a 3. And Tracy McGrady with 13 points. A 7-0 run by Houston. So far in this quarter, the Rockets 5 for 7 from the field. Going down to Melvin Eli. Inside with a double team, he is down. If you have to foul anybody on that team, Melvin's the one to do it. He's only a 58% free throw shooter. They're a good free throw shooting team, but not Melvin.
He's the right guy to foul, but he's a good low post player. He can score down on the block. At that time, he did a great job of getting deep low post position.
He's a 6-year veteran, and he's had some good years coming off the bench for several teams in the NBA, Seattle.
Yeah, his number's about 6'10", Chuck Hayes about 6'6". Yeah. So they're trying to take advantage of the height difference there.
And he misses both. Rockets with their biggest lead of the game. 5 points. Alley. McGrady! Oh, baby!
Points in the paint. Rockets with the advantage. 14-6. I'm still in awe with the McGrady alley-oop.
Stojakovic throws it away. And the Rockets using their defense to create offense. Watch this again. This is Clyde Drexler-like.
He got up pretty high. The elevation. Look at the energy. I like it.
Rockets trying to keep going on a 9-0 run.
Those are the things you can do when you don't have anyone posting up every time down the floor.
Hayes inside, sets up Novak. Yes! A long two to Steve Novak. And the Rockets with an 11-0 run.
Pace up, Bill. These guys believe. They're playing with a lot of confidence.
This ball with a miss and Hayes with a rebound. All the way down the court to Luther Head. What a great pass that was. McGrady from the deep. Oh! Team for three! And the Rockets are red hot. Timeout, New Orleans. I thought Brett Favre retired. Chuck Hayes trying to bring him back. Rockets on a 14-0 run. Well, here's a Houston fan that wants Charles Barkley to quit hating.
Hey, you can't argue with the production.
Let's take a look at tonight's Progressive Insurance Above the Rim replay. Tracy McGrady goes high above the rim.
Set up by the great pass from Ray for Austin. Let me tell you something. When you don't have someone posting up, that means you're going to be open around the basket area. You can do things of this nature if you can create the defense going one way and have the offensive player going another way. Well drawn up play by Rick Adelman.
18 points in 18 minutes. Pretty good production.
I'd say a point a minute. I like it.
Is he heading for a 48-point night?
I don't think he's going to play 48 minutes.
I don't know why not, the way he's going right now. There's Stojakovic from the outside with a three. Stojakovic now, Peja has moved into number 9 on the all-time three-pointers made list. He's gone by Dan Marley. 1,363.
The all-time great shooters in this league.
Steve Novak misses from the outside. His first miss of the game. Paul gets a three. So back-to-back threes by the Hornets. And presto, they're right back in it.
Chris Paul shoots the ball too well. 36% from three-point land. You got to find him in transition.
Brady's got Paul on him now. Peterson comes over on the double team. That leaves Novak wide open. You cannot leave Steve Novak. Just as pure as it comes.
You can't leave Luther Head either. And that's the beauty of having shooters on the floor at the same time.
Well, Novak getting the minutes that normally would be reserved for Carl Landry. Stojakovic with that quick delivery. He has got the quickest shot, the prettiest shot in the league, I think.
High arcing shot.
He and Ray Allen.
Ray Allen is smooth as silk, but Novak has a beautiful shot.
Yep.
Stojakovic slings his ball.
There's Novak again, and this time he rushed it a little bit.
I never liked Page's shot. He kind of slings it. It's been very effective, but it's not pretty like the Reggie Miller three or Dale Ellis or Larry Bird.
Well, he's going to be there with him here in about 3 or 4 more years. As Peterson turns the corner, and a charging foul. Chuck Hayes got great position just outside the circle. The Chuck wagon gets parked in the no parking zone.
He will get there because the Chuck wagon knows he's got to get there in position because he's not going to go above the rim.
I think he was on the loading dock then.
He's a landlubber.
All right, check this out. Pargo's in there now with Chris Paul. They're going to try to get a little quicker team in. Rafer Alston with a rainbow three. Rafer Alston. Rockets are 6 for 9 on three-pointers in this quarter.
Let me tell you something. Both teams have picked up their intensity level tremendously.
New Orleans battling with the Lakers right now. Morris Peterson hits a three. Boy, these two teams, 7 of 11 behind the arc for New Orleans, 6 of 13 for Houston. We've had 13 threes already made in this game. And we still have 3 minutes to play in the second quarter.
Good patience by the Rockets. Tracy McGrady drawing the double team.
Pargo with a steal. You really have to be careful with the ball against the Hornets. Air ball. Stojakovic. T-Mac taking Stojakovic to the basket, and he draws the foul. He'll shoot 2. We have a timeout. 2:43 left to play in the second quarter. The Rockets up by 6.
Hi, I'm Ron Burke in the NBA TV studios. The Miami Heat and Atlanta Hawks had to replay the final 51.9 seconds from a game originally played December 19th. That was the game in which Shaquille O'Neal was inadvertently ruled to have fouled out. So we pick up this game with the Hawks leading at 114-111 as they finished it out tonight. Dwayne Wade and company without Shaq now in their lineup. He's calling Phoenix home these days. 51.9 ticks to go in overtime. The Hawks leading by 3. Joe Johnson with the drive. He misses, and the Heat come away with the rebound. So the Heat now can tie it down 3. Ricky Davis to Wade with a long 2. That does not go. And the Atlanta Hawks, as Al Horford says, we did it. Won maybe the shortest game ever. 114-111 the final count. It was Dwayne Wade. Again, these scores taking part in the earlier game. 36 points is what Wade finished with. And you can see on the flip side, the Atlanta Hawks got 26 from Williams, 25 from Johnson in their victory. Fred Carter and I will be back at halftime with a T-Mobile halftime report. For now, we send you back to Houston. Enjoy the rest of the game.
He's making up for it now. Rockets lead by 6 with 2:43 to go in the first half. Want to win a trip to the NBA Finals? Just look inside specially marked packs of Double Mint Gum for your chance to go. No purchase is necessary. See WrigleyHoops.com for details and free entry. Void where prohibited. Sweepstakes ends April 30th, 2008. Well, Tracy McGrady took a shot to the face from Stojakovic on that last drive to the basketball. He took a scratch on the nose, but he's okay, ready to get back out there and finish up this first half.
Bart, when you won 17 games in a row, nothing bothers you.
That's true.
You're ready to get back in there.
You just can't let it. It does bother you.
Yeah. The Rockets, of course, we've talked about this winning streak, but they have 11 wins in a row at home. But what's important, they have 11 wins in a row on the road. So they're doing it both here in their own building where they're expected to, and then going out on the road. And they're a very physical team, and I think that's held them in good stead.
And they're a very good defensive team, which allows you the opportunity to win on the road.
Yeah.
You know, when you're playing well, though, it's because you're very consistent in executing your game plan. And that's what Rick Adelman and these Rockets have been able to do.
First T-Mac with a couple of NBA scoring titles when he was playing in Orlando. The problem, and of course it dogs him everywhere he goes, and everybody brings it up all the time on the national telecast, he has yet to win a playoff series. And I don't think that you can put that all on one player now.
No, this is a team sport.
What do you think?
No, I don't believe in that. This is a team sport. You win and you lose as a team. It's not golf or tennis.
Good point. Stojakovic gives it up to Chris Paul. Paul will let the shot clock run down to 7 seconds. In the corner to Pargo. He'll miss. And it's knocked out of bounds by New Orleans.
A great defensive pressure by the Rockets to force a hurried outside attempt.
Hey, Pargo doesn't have a conscience, does he? He's taken 10 shots. He's made 3. He was hot early. He has cooled off.
But as a scorer, you can have a conscience.
That's a good point. Luther Head, no conscience.
He doesn't have one either. Rockets
7 of 14 from behind the arc. 7 for 10 in this quarter. Down low, and Chandler has it stripped away by Hayes. That's 3 steals for Chuck Hayes.
And Chandler brings the ball below his chest, his shoulders, and when he does, you allow the shorter man to take it away. You got to keep that ball high above your head if you're a center on the low post.
Rafer tells McGrady to get back into the rotation. Rafer will put it up. He'll miss it. Rebound goes to Tyson Chandler.
The pick and roll of New Orleans is just devastating with Chris Paul.
12 seconds on the shot clock. Fargo, Morris Peterson from the corner with a 3. Wednesday night against Atlanta, the Hornets had 15 threes in that game. They've got 8 already tonight. Their last 5 baskets have all been 3-pointers. T-Mac to the rack.
And that's what he's got to do. He's got to mix it up a little bit because they're going to double him. And when they don't, he's got to make them pay by driving to the basket.
Chris Paul shoots it too hard, and it's tipped over to Hayes. Boy, Hayes has been so active. In his 13 minutes, he has 6 rebounds and 3 steals.
Filling under the slack for Carl Landry.
Battier from the corner, and the Rockets with their 8th three-pointer of the game. Wow! These 2 teams are torrid.
And it all starts with great ball movement. That's how you get those open shots from three-point land.
Why not? Chris Paul answers with a 3.
You got to guard him.
We've almost had more 3s than we've had 2s.
You can't let him just come down and pull up. You got to get in his face.
Rafer Alston hits another 3. My goodness gracious. The Rockets have hit 9 3-pointers in this quarter.
Rafer Alston competing. You like to see that in your point guard. That's leadership.
Season high for the Rockets is 13 in a game. Hornets had 15 Wednesday night. 7 seconds and a foul is called. Rockets had 1 to give. And Lutherhead just gave it. Both teams, Hornets still have 1 to give, but they'll have the ball the final 6 seconds. The Rockets have scored 39 points in this second quarter after scoring only 20 points in the first quarter.
Well, when these 2 teams get together, you know it's going to be a moment where the intensity is going to be raised. You have to be ready for those surges.
Rafer Alston gave Tyson Chandler a little muscle beat shot on the way out.
It's a little game within the game here. And Rafer Alston with the Hornets bench as well.
Chris Paul loses it. 2 seconds. 1 second. McGrady gets it off in time, and I wouldn't have been surprised if that had gone in. What a quarter by the Rockets. They outscore the Hornets 39-23. The Rockets make 9 3-pointers in the second quarter, led by Tracy McGrady, who has 22 points. 59-46 Houston at halftime. Stay with us. The Toyota Halftime Report is next. Don't go away. We welcome you back to Toyota Center. Time to look at the Chili's essential ingredients.
Well, the Rockets have got to keep up with their dominant defense. They've done a great job defensively on the Hornets. They got to continue to pass the ball. That ball movement has been key to creating 59 points in the first half. And they got to continue to share the wealth where everyone is producing.
Let's go to Bart Ennis.
Eavesdropping on my conversation with Jack Sikma a few minutes ago, he was talking about Chuck Hayes, really praising Chuck. 14 minutes off the bench, 3 steals, 6 rebounds, played some great defense. He was very active. Jack said they need on the offensive end, the spacing and the passing is critical. On the defensive end, they don't want the Horns to get as many open looks at threes here in the second half.
When you take a look at the first half stats, Bart, it's incredible that the Hornets, one of the leaders in fast break points in the NBA, 0. Look at that. No fast break points for New Orleans.
Wow.
There's a steal by Scola. And that's the 7th steal by the Rockets.
And the Hornets are 8th in the league in fast break buckets.
Scola from the top of the key, and he misses. And Chandler will clear it up. Chandler, number 4 in the NBA in rebounding at 12 a game. Tonight, Chandler has 5. Chandler taking it in on Mutombo. And Mutombo that time didn't get his hands up in the air.
Well, he bumped him, got him off balance, and he thought that would be enough. Chandler made a tough jump hook.
Alston finds McGrady coming off a pick the other side. He'll raise up and shoot and hit. Tracy McGrady with a rare 2.
Tell you what,
everybody's been shooting 3.
He's very assertive in tonight's game offensively in getting his shot, the shot he wants.
Blocked by McGrady as Peterson tried to shoot that jumper, and McGrady came out and blocked it. McGrady now will work on offense. Peterson trying to get up in his face, and the foul is called on Morris Peterson.
Well, when McGrady's hot, obviously Peterson can't guard him one-on-one. The Hornets are going to have to run somebody at him, try to get the ball out of his hand.
Yeah, but when they did that in the first half,
he
gave it up.
Well, you don't have the shooters on the floor now that you have with Mutombo and Scola.
What about Rafer? Oh, he missed. That was going to be my good comeback to you, and he missed it.
No, they're going to come from Mutombo or Scola. Skip could knock him down.
Chris Paul taking it inside, picked up the dribble, and nobody came over.
Well, Rafer was behind him. You're going to play good defense, you got to get in front of the offensive player.
I think he was expecting some help from Mutombo, and he didn't get it.
Chris Paul is very crafty.
Mutombo to the middle with a jump hook. Missed it. Tipped up in the air, hustle, and Houston's ball. Look at that Scola.
I tell you what, I haven't seen an ugly jump hook by Mutombo in quite some time.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. He's holding up the Georgetown tradition.
The 41-year-old Dikembe Mutombo, oldest player in the NBA, 17 NBA seasons, and he's still going strong.
Been a lot of Georgetown centers with some ugly jump hooks.
You got that right.
A long line of them.
Emack with a miss. Oh, Mutombo says, how about this shot?
I like that shot. Good slam dunk.
First basket of the game for Dikembe. Oh, Tyson Chandler with an acrobatic dunk shot.
Check out the chemistry, though. Chris Paul.
Yeah.
Tyson Chandler, I love it. That's just good coaching.
Scola checks out Battier on the wing. Mutombo tips it. Oh, got a little shove from behind that time by Chris Paul. He wanted a call, didn't get it. Alley-oop again to Chandler. And a technical foul is called on Mutombo. Well, he said something to James Capers, and Capers didn't like it.
Well, Mutombo has a reason because Chris Paul hit him with the body, took his legs from up under him on the offensive board, and Chris Paul ended up getting the rebound, and Mutombo was not happy about it.
Well, guys, I was watching Mutombo stay behind the play with James Caper, and the technical came way before that dunk, so James Caper let the Hornets continue their fast break before he called the technical.
Back to McGrady now. It's an 8-point Houston lead. McGrady to the basket, missed it, and Chandler gives it up to Chris Paul. These two teams can score at such a quick rate that neither one are really out of the game, and here's Paul bringing them back. 6 unanswered points. 7, actually, by the Hornets.
They got to contain Chris Paul off the dribble. If not, he's going to do that all night long.
Well, I thought they did a pretty good job on him in the first half, and he still had 13 points.
He was in foul trouble.
Battier from the corner, and he misses. So Shane's been in a bit of a shooting slump, but not a hustling slump. He got the rebound, back to Mutombo for the slam. Great hustle by Battier.
He just never gives up on the rebound. Neither does Scola, neither does Carl Landry or Chuck Hayes.
Chris Paul with a miss and Mutombo with a rebound.
Rockets will try to post Scola, see if they can get something on the low block.
Scola working on Bowen. No double team help. So Scola with a hook shot. And he's knocked down by Bowen. Rockets do a good job of selecting the weak spot in your defense.
Yes, they do. And Rick Adelman, he mixes up his plays so the defense can't zone in on what he's trying to accomplish. And that's been a skill of his for many, many years. When I played with him in Portland, we were very good at mixing up our offensive sets so that we can operate effectively.
Clyde, he gives you a lot of freedom as a player, doesn't he?
Well, you have a lot of options on all of his sets. So you don't have to, there's no set play. You just read what the defense is giving you, and you pick the best option. And I like that as a player. You get a little freedom.
So if you're a smart basketball player, you really flourish in his system.
Absolutely. You can create layups and easy opportunities for yourself and your teammates.
You know, that's a pretty good trait because you hear a lot of players say coaches sometimes try to control them too much.
Yeah, they put him in a box. And, you know, when you have creative players, it's not a good thing to put them in a box. You stifle their creativity.
Foul was called on Rafer Alston. That's his third foul of the game.
Some players need to be in the box.
Well, that's a good point, too. And Chris Paul misses. Ball tipped up in the air. Back outside. Stojakovic will fire up a three. He misses, and Paul gets the ball back. Stojakovic will try it again, and this time he hits. Mark Wunderlich said a moment ago that the officials feel like they're in the NFL because they're raising their arms all the time for these three-pointers. They feel like, you know, somebody's kicking an extra point or a field goal. McGrady up and in.
That's just all McGrady there. That was not a set play. That's just him doing his thing.
9-point lead by the Rockets. Paul has picked up his dribble now. And the ball is knocked away by Rafer Alston. Up ahead to Scola, and Bowen fouls him. That's the second foul on Bowen and the third team foul on the Hornets. The Rockets have one.
Both of these teams compete. That's one thing. That's the reason they're doing so well in the Western Conference standing.
Well, you have to compete in the West.
So much talent.
One bad week and you go from 5th to 10th.
You could be out of the playoff picture entirely.
Rafer Alston, another three. The Rockets with 10 three-pointers. Ditto for the Hornets. 20 three-pointers in this game already. We still are only halfway through the third. You're going to beat one of these teams in the West, you better be ready to play.
Yeah, you got to bring your lunch each and every night. There's no easy game.
That's why it's amazing to see teams 11 games below 500 in the East with a chance for the playoffs. Blocked by Mutombo. And the shot clock goes off. Dikembe says, not in my house. Number 2 all-time NBA shot blocker behind Hakeem Olajuwon. And he gets his first tonight. Rockets up by 12.
You gotta love that. You gotta love that.
3,246 blocks, only behind Hakeem Olajuwon. Of course, they didn't start keeping block shots until the early 70s. That's why Kareem's not higher, and of course that's why you don't see Bill Russell.
And Chamberlain. And, of course, the great one, Hakeem Olajuwon. You can't say enough. I don't think anybody will catch his record. Mutombo would have to play another 3 or 4 years and play quite often to do it.
Well, they thought he was going to retire 2 years ago. Then they thought he was going to retire last year. And then Yao got hurt last season, and he came in and averaged about 12 rebounds a game over the next 20.
He can do that.
Rafer Alston with a miss, and Chandler with the rebound.
Mutombo keeps himself in great physical condition.
Stojakovic back in the corner, and Wright stepped out of bounds. But, you know, you look at Ryan Bowen, he's played 20 minutes with no points. So that's David West's position, and I think now they're going to come with the young rookie Wright in hopes that maybe he can give him a little more offense.
Yeah, the rookie's made a big mistake. The Hornets in the zone now, but you got to learn how to stay on the court. Never leave the court. Byron Scott mixing it up here.
5 seconds, down to 4, down to 3. Scola puts it up, and that's going to be the basket will not count. A 24-second violation. Mutombo put it in at the 25-second mark. 12-point Houston lead as Chris Paul will bring it up. He has 15 points and 7 assists. Jakovic goes to the basket before the shot. He was fouled outside by Shane Battier.
Bill, when you watch Chris Paul play, you just know he can score anytime he wants. But he really wants to set up his teammates and get them the ball in positions to score. That's a good point guard.
You know, he never picks up his dribble either, Clyde.
Never.
And a whistle. And a foul is called on Rafer Alston, and that's number 4 now on Rafer.
Well, Rafer, whenever they create that switch, Tyson Chandler's a 7-footer. So Rafer has to do something because all Chris Paul's going to do is throw it up there for the alley-oop.
So Bobby Jackson will check back into the game for Houston as Rafer will sit down. Jackson played 9 minutes in the first half with 2 points. Drops it down to Wright. Wright puts it up with the left hand and misses. Offensive rebound to Tyson Chandler. Again, the pick and roll. And again, a basket by Chris Paul. You just almost can't stop him. That pick and roll, somebody's going to score.
Well, he's always in your paint. You got to keep Chris Paul out of the paint.
McGrady with a 3. Tracy McGrady answers with a cold-blooded 3. 11 three-pointers for the Rockets. T-Mac is 3 for 5 behind the arc. Chris Paul misses from the outside. Peterson misses. Peterson put it back up and in.
Well, it's Peterson showing why he was a good pickup from the Raptors in the offseason.
If there is a weakness with Yao Ming injured and out for the year, it's the Rockets are not real tall along the front line.
No, not after Mutombo. They go pretty small.
Shane Battier saw the official out of the corner of his eye and threw a perfect pass to James Capers.
But then you got 6'8" Battier, 6'8" McGrady. At the other positions, they're pretty tall. Scola would be the next tallest at 6'10" when Mutombo is not in the game.
So Mutombo comes out and the 6'6" Hayes will go in to guard the 6'11" Chandler.
But it's been productive for him. I wouldn't change a thing.
Ball is knocked away and Chris Paul gets it back. Into Chandler. Chandler puts it up and misses. Offensive rebounder inside, and Chandler, right now the Hornets are just controlling the inside.
Second chance opportunities.
McGrady misses on a 3, and the Rockets with a 9-point lead. Chris Paul puts it up and in.
Oh, he could just do that all day coming off that pick.
Is he with Steve Nash now? Would you call him equal?
Steve is getting up in age. I wouldn't call him equal. I'd say Chris Paul would have to be considered the best point guard in the game today.
Does a lot of the same things Nash does.
Darren Williams would be a close second, if not first.
A lot of great point guards in this West. 3 seconds. Bobby Jackson misses. And it's tipped. Saved by Hayes to Shane Battier. Puts it up and in. Big basket for Shane Battier. Good hustle, he and Hayes. 77-68. Houston with the lead.
When you see point guards averaging 20 points, over 10 assists, you got some real leaders out there.
Chris Paul again. He just can't stop the guy.
He can score whenever he wants, but he has a tendency to want to run the offense.
11 points in the quarter. You almost rather see him pass.
No, the way he scores, Byron Scott wants to see him put the ball in the basket.
That's what I mean. If you're playing against him, you almost would rather see him set up his teammates.
Good point.
11-point quarter by Paul, but the Rockets still lead by 7.
Just under 2 minutes to go here in the third as the Rockets lead New Orleans by 7. Make sure to be at Toyota Center on Monday, March 10th, as the Rockets go head-to-head with the New Jersey Nets at 7:30 p.m. But it's also Rockets Cap Night. The first 5,000 fans through the door will receive a free Rockets cap presented by Comcast. Call 713-627-DUNK or log on to rockets.com for your tickets today. Bill?
Thank you, Bart. And right now, Chris Paul is putting on quite a show here in this arena. Tracy McGrady has 29 points. He has given the Rockets the lead for most of the game, but Chris Paul having an 11-point quarter. Over the last 6 games, CP3 is averaging 23 points, 52% shooting, and 57% from behind the three-point line.
Hey, Bill and Clyde, also Chris Paul has the most games this season of more than 20 points and more than 15 assists in the same game. He has 7 of those games. Steve Nash, Baron Davis, and Darren Williams are right behind him with 2.
Yeah.
That says a lot.
Shane Battier has been in a shooting slump over the last 4 games, and he went through a stage of games about 5 in a row where he couldn't miss. Now he has really struggled from behind the arc, and they're going to give him that shot till he can make it.
Yeah, he's still shooting about 39%.
Yeah, he's 1 for 5 tonight and struggled in Dallas. To right on the alley-oop from the outside.
The pinpoint perfect pass from Chris Paul. So that's what he'd like to do, distribute.
That's a 5-point game. A lot easier shots by New Orleans. They're getting them inside. Rockets are having to keep hoping that they stay hot from the outside. They haven't had much penetration. There's some by Jackson. And Scola gets it back. Now he's got to put it up. And a whistle. And they bailed him out with a foul. Chris Paul.
Only 2 seconds left on the shot clock.
3rd foul of the game for Chris Paul.
Look at Scola going after the ball, relentless. Remember, right now the ball has not touched the rim. And there are only 2 seconds left and they foul him.
Scola up and under. He went under Tyson Chandler. That's a Manu move.
It's a typical European move. You just roll off of it and scoop it.
Scola on that same Argentinian national team with Manu Ginobili, Fabricio Alberto,
Alcione.
That's a great team.
Yeah.
They'll be going for the gold in Beijing. Wright with a miss, Hayes with a rebound.
Here's where the Rockets have got to get something going offensively. They can't afford to trade baskets.
Well, they can if it keeps going in, and Tracy McGrady with 31 points. Wow. He is carrying this team during this streak.
Fuego.
19 seconds. Difference of about 5 seconds shot clock, game clock. Chris Paul misses from the outside. The rebound, Scola behind the back and throws it away. 3 seconds left. And a late foul by Bobby Jackson. It was the 4th team foul, so they will not shoot a free throw, but there is 2 seconds left.
Plenty of time to get off a quality shot.
Chris Paul got it off in time, but missed it. So New Orleans wins the 3rd quarter, 26-22. Good game here at Toyota Center in Houston as we go to the final quarter. As New Orleans made a little run, but the Rockets had bumped it back up to a 9-point lead. But you know the Hornets will not go away.
No, they're not going to go away. As a matter of fact, this is the most important quarter of the game. Obviously, it's the 4th quarter, but you'll see both teams pick it up on both ends of the court for the last 12 minutes of this game.
Pargo will open the 4th quarter on Bobby Jackson. Brady will stay in the game along with Battier. Chuck Hayes and Luis Scola. Brady turns, fires over Pargo. Now, Pargo can't guard Tracy McGrady.
He has no chance. He just picks up, turns around, and just jumps right over him. Pargo 6'3", McGrady 6'8".
33 points for Tracy McGrady. This is the 11th 30-point game of the season for T-Mac. Better job of defending. That pick and roll. Pargo now has to fire it up over McGrady. Good defense by T-Mac. Bobby Jackson on the run. T-Mac turns the corner, and Pargo fouls him. That was almost an open field tackle.
Yeah, he's trying to fight through the pick. So he's trying to get closer to Tracy McGrady and ride him over the pick, which is a good way to defense a good player.
Now the Rockets really go small, Clyde, as Scola will come out of the game. Luther Head will come in for Scola.
Well, Bill and Clyde, what the Hornets have been doing is they've been switching between zone and man, and the Rockets have got to figure out a way to penetrate that zone. But now they're putting their shooters back in.
They found a way.
Hey, Matt, that's a good way to penetrate the zone. Just shoot over.
Well, that's what the Rockets were able to do in the second quarter.
Yeah.
Now here in the fourth, with the shooters back in with Luther Head, and this would be a great opportunity to do that.
Chris Paul checked back into the game and immediately got the ball to Tyson Chandler, and Chuck Hayes fouled him, but he got up there with him pretty good, and Chandler will go to the free throw line. He is a 61% free throw shooter.
Chuck Hayes does a great job of not letting Tyson Chandler flush the dunk down by making him earn it. He grabbed him on the wrist and wouldn't let him go.
Here's a young man that's really improved, hasn't he, Clyde? Tyson Chandler. Since he was with the Chicago Bulls, that really wasn't a very good deal.
Sending him Curry.
Sending him to the Hornets.
2 7-foot guys from high school together, that takes too long to develop. But Chandler has really matured and developed. He's one of the top-notch centers in this game now. I'd say a top 5.
So the number 7 free throw team in the league is 2 for 7 from the line. But the right guys are going to the line. Chandler and Eli. Double team on McGrady. Leaves Luther Head open. The Rockets are unbelievable. That's the 12th three-pointer by Houston. Luther Head 3 for 5. Novak 2 for 3. Alston 3 for 6. T-Mac 3 for 6. And guess who scores? Chris Paul.
His footwork is so good. He'll be going lateral, forward, backward, all at the same time. Impossible to stop. You got to double him at the end of the game and keep him out of your paint.
Back to T-Mac again. He's had all the answers. Swinging around to Bobby Jackson. An extra pass to Batty. He hits his second three-pointer of the game. And the Rockets 13 of 28. That ties a season high for the Houston Rockets. 13 threes in a game, and Hayes with a foul.
And the Hornets are down to a one-man show with Chris Paul just taking over offensively. But the key is, it looks like good D here, but the key is the Hornets can't stop the Rockets long enough to try to get back into this game.
Well, Hayes thought he got all ball.
Chuck Hayes has quick hands. He knows he's not going to meet you above the rim, so he tries to get you before you get up there.
I think it depends in the NBA on who you're fouling. Had that been anybody else in their team, he probably would have gotten the call, but it was Chris Paul.
Well, he gets that call because he is a marquee player and well-deserved.
And he's also one of the best free throw shooters in the NBA. He's number 9 in the league at 88% from the line.
And one of the finer young gentlemen in the game.
Truly one of the best. T-Mac with a miss on the 3, and Gennaro Pargo will bring it up. After Katrina, it was Chris Paul all over New Orleans. Pargo takes it up and misses, and the rebound to Luther Head. And during the All-Star game in New Orleans, it was Chris Paul leading all of his All-Star teammates all around the city to do what they could in the NBA Cares program.
Yeah, you can't say enough about Chris Paul.
He is a wonderful young man, and there he is with a steal.
Talk about leadership.
Yeah, they struck the goal mine with him. Of course, Darren Williams went right ahead of him in the draft, and he hasn't turned out too badly either. There's Chris Paul again.
Boy, he's so
27
smooth.
points.
He's so smooth, so much fun to watch. Chris Paul is a treat to behold.
He's missing David West tonight. The Rockets are missing Yao Ming. And Carl Landry.
Both players, all-stars, David West and Yao Ming.
Shot clock down to 5 seconds. Luther Head on the drive, and it's blocked. Good defense by New Orleans. 8:22 left to play in the game. Houston up 91-78. 8:22 left to play in the game. The Rockets with the lead, and it's time to check in on tonight's AIG Big Man Watch. Chris Paul and Rafer Alston. You know you're going to get that from Paul every night, and I really have to tell you, if you haven't been watching Rafer Alston play a lot lately during this streak, he has really played excellent basketball because he doesn't turn the ball over a lot.
Well, Bill and Clyde, Rafer had a very good first half. He had 12 points in the first half, only 3 in the second. Chris Paul has had 17 points here in the second half and 4 assists to go along with that.
Yeah.
But Rafer is also playing with Tracy McGrady, which means he has to defer to Tracy McGrady, so he can't go off offensively like Chris Paul can.
Rockets have 24 assists tonight. They've been the leading assist team in the NBA over this winning streak of 17 games in a row, and they've had several games of 30 or more assists. There's Stojakovic working it inside over Shane Battier. Now, they call that play for him. They don't call many for Pager.
No, they're trying to get offense from other areas aside from Chris Paul.
10-2 run by Houston has been answered by a 6-0 run by the Hornets. T-Mac drops it off to Hayes. Another assist for Tracy McGrady. His 8th assist of the game. He had 9 in Dallas. 35 points, 8 assists for T-Mac. Rockets with 25 assists. Argo taking it inside, lays it up and out. And Hayes with a rebound. That ball went down for a second.
Yes, it did. You know, Tracy McGrady, whenever he penetrates, he draws a crowd. But he's looking to dish.
Well, there's a dish. Overhead without the results at the other end. Chris Paul to the basket, and he's fouled. And now, if you're going to foul a guy, you can't let him make it.
Well, he's so quick, Bill. They tried. He moved the ball all the way around his body, kept his right hand free, and he's strong enough to absorb the contact. You see that? And still finish strong. That's the beauty of Chris Paul's game.
Now, Clyde, if you're playing against a guy like Chris Paul, who's just basically scoring at will, wouldn't you want to give him a hard foul?
Well, he tried. That's the hard thing. He's so good, he couldn't even foul him right.
We got to put a Dallas Mavericks foul on him. Rafer Alston right to the basket for 2 more, and he answered. Rafer's pretty good at bringing it right back at you.
Well, he competes, and that's what you want to see your players do.
Chris Paul, unbelievable.
Chris Paul says, take that.
An unbelievable performance by himself. 33 points, 8 assists. McGrady, 35 points, 8 assists. Those 2 guys have gone head-to-head tonight.
Definitely has been an offensive show so far tonight. There you see the Hornets trying to just create the mismatch of having Pargo guard McGrady.
Yeah, well, Julian Wright came out and knocked it out of bounds. 9 seconds on the shot clock for Houston. McGrady gets a double team. Extra pass to Rafer in the corner. Oh, baby! A new season high for the Houston Rockets. 14 threes. And Rafer Alston 4 for 7 from behind the arc. Chris Paul sets up his big center, Tyson Chandler, for another basket.
Like a heavyweight fight.
These 2 guys.
One haymaker after another, Bill.
Slugging it out, aren't they? We've had 25 threes in this game. 14 for Houston, 11 for New Orleans. Rafer.
Short. So you didn't need that shot. I know you're feeling pretty good, Rafer, but you gotta get a little bit closer than that.
That was even outside of Superman's range. 5:49 left to play. Rockets going for their 18th win in a row. At Detroit on Sunday. Woo! So it doesn't get any easier for these teams.
The NBA, where amazing happens.
Yep. We've seen it this year, especially in the Western Conference. Stojakovic misses. And Hayes knocked the ball away from Stojakovic. It's about 4 steals for Chuck Hayes tonight.
He's been everywhere, all over the court.
Trying to take up the slack for Carl Landry. sitting out. But Jakovic knew where that pass was going. He went right to the passing lane.
Well, he's been around for a while. He knows how to play those passing lanes. And he knows Shane Battier is a good player. So he didn't want his guy to score. Trust me.
9 seconds on the shot clock for the Rockets. Going to T-Mac. He's got the rookie Julian Wright on him. Steps back, fires, misses. Rebound Tyson Chandler. That's his 12th, 13th rebound of the game. Luther Head now has got Chris Paul for the moment.
The pick and roll of the Hornets. I mean, they can get any shot they want.
Julian Wright. Oh, boy. Air ball. And it went out of bounds off Fargo.
Well, if you're a rookie trying to get more playing time, that's not the way to do it.
Especially when you're Chris Paul so high.
Exactly. If you're going to shoot it, make sure you at least shoot a good shot.
He's going to be a good one, though.
Oh, yeah. He's got a lot of talent.
Brady again has got Julian Wright on it. Waits for a pick, goes back to Hayes. Hayes goes to the basket for two. Tyson Chandler came out to double team, and Hayes made him pay. And another assist for McGrady. He's got 35 points and 9 helpers. And Chris Paul hits a 2.
Anytime he wants, trust me.
Paul has 14 points in this quarter. McGrady's got 35. Paul has 35. And they both have 9 assists. Double team on T-Mac. That leaves Luther Head open. Sure.
Got to give the Rockets a lot of credit for continuing to put points on the board, because that's how you beat the good team. You have to outscore them.
Jakovic with a fall away. McGrady with a rebound. You know, there's so much talk of LeBron, Carmelo, Wade, Kobe. T-Mac's almost a forgotten man this year, isn't he?
That's because he's had some injuries the past couple of years. But let me tell you something. When he's healthy, he is one of the premier players in this game today.
We've seen that this season. Alston, beautiful move, and he almost capped it off with an unbelievable basket. That was a skip to Malou basket from the New York City streets. Fargo in the lane, back outside to Chris Paul. Rockets scrambling all over. Great defense so far. Paul will step back and fire. Misses. Look at that Rockets defense. And the crowd appreciates it. 2:50 and counting. The Rockets fans can sense number 18 is right in their grasp. McGrady misses, and Chandler with his 15th rebound of the game. And a timeout taken by the Hornets. The Rockets are 2 minutes, 38 seconds away from number 18 and moving into third place in the Western Conference. Carl Landry out. Chuck Hayes has had to go 27 minutes. He's produced with 9 rebounds and 3 steals. And Chuck Hayes is our Gatorade endurance player.
Nice effort tonight by Chuck Hayes. He's been all over the court, taking charges, creating steals. Great job in the absence of Carl Landry.
Carl Landry has a knee injury. He hurt it in the Indiana game. He played well against Dallas. Carl will miss tonight's game and Monday night's game against New Jersey. There he is, looking dapper in that suit. The rookie from Purdue. But he has made a major impact on the Rockets this season.
Yes, he has. That's an interesting call. Chris Paul pushes Rafer Alston into Fargo, and Skip, Rafer Alston gets the foul.
And that's number 5 on Rafer Alston.
But Bill, you got to remember, Chuck Hayes started out this season as a starter. So he knows what to do when he's called upon.
Chris Paul again. 37 points for Chris Paul. 16 here in the fourth quarter.
Here's where the Rockets have got to execute, Bill.
Yep, there's still 2 minutes left to play.
A lot of time left.
McGrady to the basket for 2. Tracy McGrady with 37 points. And Chris Paul just trade baskets. Tyson Chandler with a pass from Chris Paul. And Paul now with 37 points and 10 assists. McGrady with 37 and 9. 1:45 left to play. Rockets with an 8-point lead. T-Mac to the rack.
Too much skill. And you got a rookie on Tracy McGrady and Julian Wright. He's certainly at a disadvantage.
39 points for McGrady. His season high 47. Chris Paul finally misses. And the Rockets will bring it up. Rafer Alston. Margot's on him. One more basket should do it. McGrady. Double team. He just holds on to the basketball. T-Mac jumps into Chandler, draws the foul. He'll shoot two. Hey fans, it's the McDonald's break in action, so take a timeout to text for a free McSkillet coupon. I'm loving it. I hope the Rockets fans are too, as Tracy McGrady will go to the line with a chance for points 40 and 41.
I'm loving 18 in a row.
This is T-Mac's fourth 40-point game this season and the 45th of his career.
Tell you what, when he gets it going, there's no one better.
Well, he had to have it tonight.
Scored in a multitude of ways, going to the basket.
Very good.
Creating for his teammates.
We'll show that again in a minute. As the Rockets trying to go 18 in a row, but they'll join some pretty select company. And Tyson Chandler, that's about the 8th time. I think that's the only points Chandler gets.
Chris Paul, he'll make anybody better playing with Chris Paul.
He's got 15-15. Tyson Chandler does. 58 seconds left. They're trying to find foul Alston. Can't get to it. Now they go to T-Mac. 50 seconds. Double team on Tracy. Gets it right back. 7 seconds.
Double team. Denied the ball.
Brady misses on the three, and Battier gets it back, nets it to it. Rockets just hold on to it now. Listen to this crowd. The 19th sellout of the season. Over 18,000 fans standing as the Rockets will join the Knicks of 69-70, the Celtics, and the Chicago Bulls. With 18 wins in a row, Lutherhead trying to put the icing on the cake. And a loose ball foul on Houston.
And the crowd, Bill, impressive. Showing the love for the effort the Rockets have put out tonight.
Tonight's Landry Signature Group Rockets player of the game, of course, it's Tracy McGrady. 41 points and 9 assists, along with 5 rebounds. And Rick Adelman talking to his #1 player.
In Yao Ming's absence, Tracy McGrady has upped his level of play tremendously. And it could not have come at a better time, Bill.
Let me ask you, Clyde, no one believed it. No one still believes it. You know, when the Rockets had done it with 14 in a row with Yao Ming, then they said, well, it was over after that. Now the Rockets will go to 6-0 without Yao. 18-0. And it's about time for everybody to quit hating and start congratulating.
I agree. You know, the record speaks for itself. I like that, Bill. I'm putting a little music with that.
Well, there's still room on the bandwagon, but these Houston Rockets have defeated the New Orleans Hornets. It's for the Rockets their 18th win in a row, and they move to number 3 in the Western Conference. Unbelievable stuff by the Houston Rockets. The 4th best all-time winning streak in NBA history. Final score, the Rockets 106 and the Hornets 96. What a victory for the Houston Rockets. And for those folks who said they haven't beat anybody, well, during this streak, they beat the Hornets twice. Once at their place, they've beaten Denver. And they
the Mavericks
come on strong now, and now Chandler is being led off the court. I don't know what that was all about, but the Rockets have won one here, 106-96. Rafer Alston has been the man pulling the trigger in this winning streak, and he's standing by with Bart Ennis.
All right, Bill, thanks a lot. 18 straight Rafer Alston. Great ball game tonight.
It's alive. We're alive right now. We're taking every team's best shot, and we're going to keep on taking we played hard tonight, and we knew it was going to be a dogfight, but we continue to play the game the way we know how, and that's defend the ball, rebound the ball, pass the ball, and score the ball.
And how about the atmosphere in here as you guys continue to win one after another?
Oh, the atmosphere was great. It was alive in here. It was real energetic. They continue to be of great support, and we hope to continue that the rest of the season.
Talk about your duel with Chris Paul tonight. He and Tracy both had it going, but you came on, had a really nice first half.
Well, we know he's capable of having big nights. He had a big night tonight. Our job is not to let other players get going. We did a pretty good job on some of the other guys, and it helps to have Tracy McGrady.
Yeah, it sure does. The most important thing about this win, it pulls you into a second-place tie in the Southwest Division, right on the heels of those San Antonio Spurs.
Well, they're on fire right now, too, even though they won 11 in a row and lost one, but they're the champions, and I think no matter how every team in the West is playing, you still have to go through them.
Rafer Alston, thanks for your time. 20 points tonight for Rafer, another big win for the Rockets. We'll be back with more on Rockets Live in just a moment.